I want to thank you, America. I want to thank particularly the people who listen to this radio program, you. Watch my Fox show and my Blaze show. We spent all 3 hours last evening pushing out the vote in this country from sea to shining sea, focusing on battleground states as well as other states like Virginia and so forth. It had an effect. That's what I do. We've spent months leading up to this fateful day discussing the substance, not pollsters, not analysis of polls, which got people absolutely nowhere. At the end, they said, we don't know who's going to win. What did I say? We're not in the prediction business, the pollster business, the expert analysis business. We're in the let's get off our asses and vote business. That's exactly what you did. We pushed hard here for early voting, even when some in our party were still skeptical. We said, forget it. We got to beat them at their game, and you did. We said you've got to do more than you've ever done before, and many of you did exactly that. We said during the course of yesterday's 3-hour program, each state, the time the polls closed, while you're in the cars listening to the program or at home, that you needed to act, and once you got there, you needed to stay in line. You did all these things. You saved the country. We, the American people, did exactly what we're supposed to do. We did what generations before us have done in this country, and hopefully generations after us. You saved this country for your family. And you can tell your kids what you did on November 5th. I can tell today that for so many Americans, the world is a better place. We have a reinvigorated patriotism for our country, for our fellow citizens. That in the end, the American people were not going to buy any more of this. That the American people were going to put an end to it. The American people, black, brown, yellow, red, white, male and female, Jew and Gentile. Yes, Democrats, Independents, and Republicans. Enough was enough. We didn't want the dystopia, or as I wrote, the Ameritopia, that was being imposed on us. We didn't want to be lorded over every decision we make about an item that uses energy. We want to drive what we want to drive. We want to build the kind of home we want to build. We want to live where we want to live. We want the government to keep its hands off our children, both their minds and their genitalia. Is I really asking too much? They said that the opposition would win on the issue of abortion. They didn't. Because over time, as we explain on this program and every platform I have, they don't favor abortion. They favor infanticide. There is a huge, huge difference. That's what their records show. That's what their votes show. That's what their statements show. Same with the immigration issue, this bipartisan bill. We spent months explaining that bipartisan bill was not a bipartisan bill. It was not a security bill. It was an amnesty bill that would result in tens of millions of more illegal immigrants coming to this country, unvetted. Terrorists, killers, rapists, gang members, fentanyl, and with chain migration, there'd be no end to it. You understood. You responded. We want some normalcy. We want our America back. We don't want fundamental transformation. We want free will, individual liberty, a civil society, a culture that is built on our founding principles, on our Judeo-Christian faith, and other faiths that have gone through the Reformation process. And now we have another chance. Now we have another chance. You did this. You did this. We the people. And I knew you would, and I knew you could. You defeated a totalitarian force that was telling us what kind of language to use, how to identify each other using pronouns, that we should not recognize biological science when it comes to our fellow human beings. It was insanity. It was lunacy. You rejected Marxism and jihadism. You rejected the ruling class that is incompetent, that is fat with power, that wants to monopolize the public square. You said, no, this is my country. And you were right. President Trump received 45% of the Jewish vote. That's unheard of. He received 25% of the vote of black men. Unheard of. He received, I think, a majority of the vote of Latino men. Unprecedented. We can't all be racists. We can't all be misogynists. Kamala Harris did not receive the women's vote to the extent that she thought she would and the so-called pollsters and experts said she would. We've spent 3.5 months in lies and fabrications about who supports whom and what supports what. Our damnable media. It's not a free press. It's a Pravda. It's an Al Jazeera. You saw through it all. And we together, in early voting and yesterday, we together said no more. I have never been so proud and so humble to sit behind this microphone. Never. People write me and they say to me, Mark Levin, thank you for everything you're doing. No. You did this. Those of you who are listening to this program right now, every walk of life, whether you're in a car or truck, whether you're at home, whether you're still at the office, people wearing headphones, who work at gas stations, we get from all walks of life here. Truckers, you did this. You should be proud of yourselves. You should take a moment out and thank yourselves. Housewives, working women, thank yourselves. Everybody, you did this. We united. And we said no. And as a result, we had a landslide election. Now, landslide elections now do not look like landslide elections in 1980 and 84 because the demographics have changed. So much else has changed. But it's a landslide election. There's no question about it. Under current understanding of what a landslide is, Donald Trump will win the popular vote. They said no Republican can ever do that again. So now they can't attack the Electoral College as a reason why he won. He will have won over 300 Electoral College votes. That's a landslide. There's not a county in the country where he didn't do better than before. That is unbelievable. Also notice, America, 81 million votes for Biden. Nobody came close to that this time, which to me underscores how absolutely rotten that last election was. There's no way anybody could get 81 million votes. It's not possible, especially somebody who is virtually brain dead. It's just not possible. But that's far behind us now. That's way behind us now. Donald Trump overcame $1.2 billion in character assassination ads paid for by Democrat Party billionaire oligarchs, many using dark money so you wouldn't know who they are. Donald Trump overcame what really is tens of billions of dollars in so-called in-kind contributions from media corporations. NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and all the rest. He defeated them. You defeated them. You defeated them. He overcame an effort to destroy him financially. And that slob has still spoken, Letitia James, and I'll get to her later. She should be disbarred. She's the one who should be in an orange jumpsuit. And I'm sure it'd be a size 28. Just saying. As a careful observer of the body politic. Donald Trump was subjected to the worst kind of legal abuse of any public figure, any candidate for public office in American history. And he bravely and courageously fought them, as did his lawyers, who were damn good. They stole money from him. They wanted to steal all of his businesses from him. Like a Hugo Chavez. Like a Stalin in the state of New York. But he fought them. They impeached him twice for nothing. Absolutely nothing. Complete setup. They launched a criminal investigation into Russia collusion. They create Russia collusion, and then they investigated him criminally. They abused his family with endless subpoenas and depositions. Enormous costs. Personally, physically, mentally, you can imagine. And financially. And if he hadn't won this election, he was going to federal prison. And he won. Thanks to you. Thanks to you, the American citizen. You were not a sunshine soldier. You were an active, patriotic American. You stood on the shoulders of the men and women who've come before us. I cannot tell you how proud I am. I am brimming with pride because of you. The ruling class was defeated. Now, if you think they're going to roll over and go away, if you think they're going to lie in the corner of fetal position and proclaim that they have to change or that they accept defeat, you're dead wrong. You need to know the enemy. Don't be fooled. They're not going to rest. They don't want unification. That's all crap. That's all talk. That's not who they are. That's not what they want. They're power hungry. They're power hungry. And they haven't changed. They're still the same people. They haven't changed at all. There's not another candidate I can think of who would have been able to overcome all this. I told you the other day, Donald Trump is a historic, iconic figure. That's how history will treat him. But we don't live in history. We live in the here and now. And we have a country to save, a border to secure, criminals to put in prison and deport. We have patriotic Americans who volunteer to serve in the military, who put their careers and their lives on the line serving in law enforcement, and firefighters and first responders. We have a duty to them. As they always have a duty to us, well, we have a duty to them too. Enough is enough. And we've had enough of the Hitler Youth in our streets, the jihadists, chasing Jews in college campuses. We need to get to the bottom of who's funding them, and we need to deport those who aren't supposed to be here in the first place. And if there's Ivy League schools and other schools that receive federal grants, and they won't put an end to this, then we put an end to them. We can't have taxpayers subsidized, that is you and me, taxpayers subsidized Jew hatred, or any hatred for that matter, but Jew hatred, that's the focus. No more. No more. There's many things we need to do. We need to take our classrooms back. We need to teach our kids science and mathematics and arithmetic and literature. Their test scores are plummeting. The schools don't belong to the AFT and the NEA. They belong to the parents who pay the taxes, the rest of us, we the taxpayers, and it's a place for our children, not perversion. Our children. It's a new day. But I'm not a Pollyanna, neither are you. Every minute forward is going to be a battle. But we can do this. We just proved it. We can do this. And we will do this.